All right, I'm going to start this one off for once.
Shoot. Oh, actually, let me just say welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a while.
Go ahead.
But I was really going into this movie with some great expectations, and they were met. Highly met.
Yeah.
The violence. Oh my God! What the fuck? At one point, you see people getting their asses mutilated to beyond belief.
Oh, more than one point.
It was like you start off, and it's all of a sudden a gore fest.
Now, here's the glorious thing about that. It's not like it's nonstop, you know. I mean, it does pace itself very well as far as, you know, giving us, you know, it gives us a little bit here, a little bit there. It isn't a constant thing, you know, where it just keeps coming, you know, on and on and on. No, they take their time with this. They give you a little bit, you know, to start, and then they build up the story, which, by the way,
beautifully done.
It's a very good story in this movie, and I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that are going to say, oh, it's too convoluted or anything. No, it's not, because this movie picks up more or less where the first one leaves off.
And it's a lot better. I'm going to say it 100 times better than the first one.
Story-wise, yes, I totally agree. I mean, the story of the first one didn't need to be very elaborate. You know, it was what it was, but in this one, it had to be a little more intricate because you couldn't just do the same situation over again, and that's a big problem that I have with a lot of movies these days. When you have a sequel, it just tries to replicate the first movie, which is why it got a sequel in the first place.
Right.
So in this one, it does more or less the complete opposite. You're not getting that, you know, it's not a carbon copy of what we saw in the first movie.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Absolutely not a carbon copy. And in fact, the characters are a lot more fleshed out. You get a lot more backstory in this movie, so you have a lot more reason to care about these people.
Exactly. Especially when you got the cop that had to go in to infiltrate the whole mafia.
Yep.
And it was like you just look at the events fall right into place, and it one at a time. And it's like you start off, oh, he goes right to the jail, and it's like,
yeah, and
that blew me away.
Yeah, and then when you find out that he ends up being there a lot longer than he was expecting to be, and how this is supposed to be a screw-up on the part of the police department, but actually ends up being to their benefit.
Yep.
It's a nice touch. It's a very nice touch, and I'm honestly, like, I kind of do what I was expecting when I watched this movie. Like, I kind of had an idea what we were going to get to.
Yeah.
I was still surprised at a lot of points.
Oh, so was I. What really got me was, you know, when they actually, you brought this up earlier when we were talking about it. You know, it was like, you only thought they were only going to show a little bit of him in jail. But when they showed that outdoor fight scene, wow. Yeah,
so the first big surprise in this movie, like, you're figuring, like, you hear, like, the first thing that I heard about this movie is that it was going to be taking place inside of a prison. I'm like, okay, well, like, this has potential. So the big fight scene takes place outside in what accounts for a big mud pit.
Exactly.
Because it's just drenched with rain. And there's this riot that takes place, you know, with prisoners, and then you got the cops getting involved, the prison guards, and it just becomes this big fucking clusterfuck taking place outside in the fucking mud.
And it was great. It was great. I was like, holy shit.
And there were some times, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, something like this, I mean, you have to choreograph it to a point, but I'm certain there were times when Rama was just slipping and sliding around. You can't choreograph that.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. And the way they just, you know, showed the shanking and everything, you know, and the blood and the gore was just, and just that scene alone was just worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on with, the brother and sister. One.
Yeah, well, let's actually.
Oh man.
So let's actually get into a few of the characters that are in this. So kind of going in order to how they were introduced. I mean, you've got two opposing mobs.
Yep.
Kind of fighting.
Japanese and Chinese.
Yeah. So they're fighting for control of this
Area.
It was in Thailand.
Yeah.
So they're fighting for this. They're fighting for control of the city, and so then you've got all these corrupt cops that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea is that they're trying to sniff out the corrupt cops. Originally they don't care about the mob. The whole idea for Rama being put in this situation is because they wanted to flush out the cops.
Exactly.
Because if you flush out the cops, then the mobs have no power, or at least that's the idea.
Right.
So when things start to they kind of go a little bit awry at the start, because when Rama is there, he's only expecting to be there a few months. That turns into 2 years.
It gets out.
He gets out, and then because he saves the whole reason that he's in prison is he's trying to get close with the son of one of these mob bosses.
Koda.
Yeah.
Goto.
Yeah.
Goto.
And he's trying to get close with his son, so that he can have an in at some point, and ends up saving his life during this big riot in the mud. So they start to take care of him. They let him into the gang, and they start to, basically all of his needs are taken care of, and they send him out on jobs.
Right.
And he starts to get in really close with the father, with Goto.
Yeah.
He starts to become really close with him, and that actually makes for a pretty it kind of got to me a little bit in the scene when Goto actually is killed off.
Yeah, when he bites it.
Yeah, and when Rama actually comes in after the fact, because he had just been in
a big fight.
He had been in a big fight where he actually had to kill one of these corrupt cops by way of putting his face on a fucking stove.
No, not a stove. A hibachi grill.
Yeah. And,
that was great. Burns his side of his face off. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, and he had gotten his arm cut up really bad with a bottle. Yep. So.
And then he takes but before that, he takes a bottle to the one guy's neck. Oh my! And not just once, repeatedly.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
Oh, but it was great.
Right. Yeah. So when the old man gets killed off, that's actually when it's a pretty damn emotional scene there, and it does set up the end of the movie pretty well.
And Eka gets it too, but he doesn't die. He just gets shot up.
He gets shot up. He gets messed up pretty bad.
And then when they have
Eka being the other undercover cop,
right?
Who had the two cops, Eka and Rama. They had no knowledge of what the other was. Eka had I think he knew that Rama was a cop,
right,
but Rama had no idea that Eka was.
Right, until
later on, after they both start getting the shit kicked out of them by the mob.
Right, and what happened, and the one part where, Eka actually saves Rama, big time from, the car
chase. Oh God, the car chase.
That was just brilliantly done.
Yeah, that was another one of those cases where they had to do a lot of careful choreographing with that scene. I'm sure there were some things, that had to be ad-libbed, especially during the, on the inside, when Rama's pretty much fighting these
for his life.
He's fighting these two hoodies inside of the vehicle.
Well, no, it was actually 3 of them.
Well, yeah, but one gets killed immediately.
The driver gets killed.
No, it was a passenger in front that got killed. The driver, he was alive, but he didn't have to fight the driver.
Right. It was the other 2 in the back.
The 2 in the back, and he had to keep. Yeah, and that fight went on for a long ass time.
But it was brilliantly choreographed and done masterfully.
I mean, he's having to use the seat belt to try and like
to keep one guy off him while he's
trying to take care of the other one. Exactly. All the while this is going on, you got Eka and his vehicle
taking out the other cars,
and yeah, they had to have some just amazing stunt drivers for that entire scene. That was, I mean, I like the scene, but it says something when that's not even my favorite scene in the entire movie.
No,
that was yet to come.
No, that's yet to come.
It's like that's a great scene, but it's like we could do better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can. You can do better than this. Why, yes, we can.
And then wow.
So the way they actually refer to them, this brother and sister, as it was Hammer Girl and Baseball Batman.
Yeah.
And I don't think I really need to go into much more description than that. Their names are very apt.
The names are self-explanatory.
Yeah, the girl with claw hammers, and this guy with an aluminum baseball bat. Oh, and he has baseballs too.
Yeah, just kicks people's ass.
Yeah.
The one I love of how Hammer Girl takes the claw hammer and just goes right from the back of the neck all the way down the spine and takes a guy out.
Yeah,
just with the claw.
Yeah, that's nasty.
It was nasty as fuck.
Yeah, it pretty much everything that she was doing made me cringe.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially when she was in the subway, in the oh my god, that was just fucking nasty. I thought she was
really
going to kill everybody in that train. But she didn't. But it was great. That was the one. That was a great kill scene.
And then when we see them again.
Oh, yes.
When we see them again.
Rama.
When it's these two against Rama.
Oh, yeah.
Do we really want to go into detail about how he takes out Baseball Batman?
Oh, let's. He beats his ass, throws him against the wall, then takes the baseball bat and right through the mouth, and it's still stuck in his mouth. He lets go of the bat goes down, his head goes down with it, and it stays at the same spot. That's how nasty that was.
Easily.
Oh my god.
That was easily my favorite scene in the movie.
Not mine.
Not yours?
No. Mine was the kitchen word after the kitchen afterward.
That one's a very, very close second for me.
That one, the way they, Rama comes in, and this is after he kills Baseball Batman and Hammer Girl.
Yeah. So
he goes right in, and there's the cooks and staff, and who I can't remember the guy's name.
I don't either, but he we'll tell you what his weapon of choice was here in just a moment, because let
me finish what I was going to say was the waitstaff looks at Rama and looks at the other guy and will say, "Fuck this, we ain't getting involved." They walk right out.
Yep. And it's not like they were running out. It's like it was
casual.
Just a
It was a very casual.
It's like you could see in their minds they were freaking out, but they didn't want to panic.
Right. They didn't want to stir a mass panic. They just wanted to be like,
bye. So, and their fight actually was at first it was a really nice contrast to what we had seen previously, because this was it was just hand-to-hand combat. It was a really good technical fight.
Yeah, and then, his weapon of choice was two little knives curved like a J.
Yeah, these two. I don't remember the exact names of them.
Those were.
We'll show it on screen here, but
those were nasty.
Yeah.
But that's not the first time you see him.
The first time we actually see him was with yet another character,
Machete Man.
Machete Man, yeah, and
you can guess what his weapon of choice is.
Naturally. So now his character actually, we actually got some explanation for what his character was supposed to be about, and why he does what he does, and
yeah, he went off.
He's got a wife and kid. He's just doing it to try and support them, and they hate what he does, or at least the wife does. And wow, he actually went off on all the guys that just wanted that
to
were
kill
trying
him.
to kill him, and yeah, it turns out he's really good hand-to-hand combat as well.
Yep.
Even though he kind of looks like this really disheveled homeless dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then we come back with J-Man.
Mm-hmm.
The J Knife Man, as I like to call him.
Sure.
That's what we'll call him, J Knife Man.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes up and just hack and slash the son of a bitch.
Yeah, he dices him it was that's the first time we see him. That's the first time we see his weapon in action, and it's really brief, but it
works.
It's it's basically a taste of what's to come, and
then when we get to the
kitchen fight
scene,
and we get a more extended look at these things.
And let me put it this way: the kitchen was white, but it looked like a bloody tampon after that.
It really did. It really did.
Which was great.
Now, the thing that I thought that they were going to do with the ending was I thought this was going to be it was going to be a really drawn out ending. It was going to be the son, and it was going to be Rama, and they were going to have this big epic fight. That's not what happens.
No, it doesn't.
And really, that was the right choice, because after these two incredible fight scenes, you really needed to have something different at the end.
Exactly.
So Rama pretty much takes everybody out except one of the mob bosses.
Cane Man.
The guy with the dude with the cane, who, and you go ahead.
Oh, well, Koto's son decides to take a shotgun. He blasts the lawyer. Then he blasts Cane Man in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see the damage that is done.
Now, remarkably, he's not dead yet.
No,
at
he's
this
not
point.
dead, because he wasn't in point blank range.
Right.
Now before that, Cane Man is shooting a gun at Rama. Rama ducks and gets out. He does get shot, but he's not too bad.
Yep.
Well, Koto's son decides to, then shoots the guy in the neck right here.
Yep.
Goes into an explanation. Next thing you know,
he's standing
over him with the pump action 12-gauge shotgun, pointed in his face, and blows his brains away. There is nothing left of his skull.
Yeah. That was
masterful.
That might have been the how we had a lot of hack and slash before that. That was easily the goriest scene in the movie.
Oh yeah. And then Koto's son and Rama get into it.
It does not last long.
No, it does. It lasts about what?
Not even a minute, I don't think.
I would say a minute and a half.
Yeah, it was really brief, and it honestly didn't need to go long.
No, it didn't. Rama kills him,
and
walks out,
and then.
And here's the thing: as he's walking out, gets into the warehouse. All the men that he kicked their asses are like...
They're still laid out.
They're laid out and groaning and in pain. And here come the cops.
No, it wasn't the cops.
Or the mob. Mob.
This was the Japanese mob.
And they're like, I don't give a fuck.
The thing is, no, we couldn't hear any of the things they were saying.
I'm saying Rama said, I don't give a fuck. He's just like, I'm done.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's kind of hard to kind of get a sense of what they were saying, you know, because there was music playing, and I get like this was an intentional artistic choice, so
Yeah.
they made it vague as to what they were discussing. But yeah, it was Rama basically saying, "I'm done."
And that's where it cuts out.
That's the end of the movie.
I loved it.
I was
Blown away.
I was blown away. Yeah, there were no adjectives, verbs, or nouns or pronouns to really describe just how I was feeling after this movie. All I know is they were all good. They were all great.
I'm going to give it. I'm going to say this. You know what? Go see it. Pay full price. They'll love it.
This was something we paid to see, and it was worth every cent.
It was.
Yeah.
It was worth every penny to go see it. Pay the money to go see it. You'll love it.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the first movie yet, because it isn't really a mainstream or common movie, really go see the first movie before you go see
Exactly.
this. There are parts of the first movie you do need to see to get a sense of what's happening in the second one.
Exactly.
Even though the second movie does a really good job of standing on its own. Mm-hmm. Really see the first movie. I mean, just for the fact that the first movie was an incredible movie on its own.
Yeah.
See it before you see this one if you haven't.
And you will love it.
Yes.
I'm guaranteeing you'll love it.
Yeah, you're going to love both these movies.
Exactly.
If you are even a fraction of the fans that we are of martial arts films, yeah, you're going to adore both of these movies.
You're going to adore it. You're going to be like, oh,
it's really going to change the way you look at martial arts films, because the first one really redefined the genre. Mm-hmm. This one takes it even further.
This one takes it about 5 steps further than the original, and it's well worth it. It's well worth the money. It's well worth the time and the effort. Yeah, it's all in Chinese or Japanese. Doesn't matter. But
doesn't matter one bit.
They do subtitles, and you'll love it. In the way
basically it's in Thai, Chinese, and Japanese. There are subtitles, no overdubbing. They actually do speak a little bit of English at times too.
Just a little bit, not much. Right. Just a little bit.
So
it's towards.
It's like this big meeting after there's been this big conflict.
Right.
And I couldn't really understand why they were speaking in English. I mean, it's like, okay, I guess.
But it was well done. It was well done.
Came out of nowhere, but it's like, yeah, whatever.
It works. It works.
All right, so I think that'll wrap this one up.
Yep.
All right.
Go see it. You'll love it.